Hello dear friends, surely many of you have thought about starting your own business, and if so, this video is for you. Today we'll talk about several unusual business ideas that might interest many, such as a mobile car wash or a cafe with holograms. All of this and more awaits you in this video. Get comfortable and enjoy the show. What do you think is the most common problem for car enthusiasts? No, it's not car breakdowns or accidents, it's dirt, especially after rain or snow. This leads to a trip to the car wash where a new problem arises. Long queues, especially during seasonal changes when the weather is unstable. Waiting in line for hours is a luxury many cannot afford. In the US, the folks at Spiffy came up with a solution, a mobile car wash that comes to your home or wherever your car is parked. But how does this business work? It's quite simple. You enter the app, choose the address, select the type of wash, and wait. About half an hour later, a van with special car washing equipment and a team arrives at your chosen address. Within an hour, they pick up your car and wash it according to the tariff you selected. The number of tariffs is unlimited, offering various services from a simple exterior wash to a comprehensive cleaning of the entire vehicle. The cost starts at $60, which may seem expensive, but you're not just paying for a wash, you're paying for time savings, a valuable commodity in our busy lives. The undeniable advantage of this business is time savings, making it highly popular and profitable in the modern era. It pays off in a couple of years. If the mobile car wash idea doesn't suit you, perhaps due to a hot climate where cars don't get dirty as often, here's another unusual proposal: virtual clothing. No, I'm not talking about NFTs. Think of it as an online mirror that can project an image of a person wearing the clothes they want to try on or with a chosen background. The developers of the Japanese company Active Lab have introduced an interactive interface allowing people to virtually try on any clothing without physically touching it. Where can this business be implemented? For example, in clothing stores. Instead of a regular mirror in the fitting room, there could be a monitor or screen of the same size broadcasting a real-time image of the person or background. The advantages of this business are its uniqueness, time savings, and protection for the clothing, as customers no longer need to try on multiple items, potentially damaging them. This idea seems promising and easily achievable with current ID technologies. Cafe with holograms. If the idea of a virtual mirror seems doubtful due to potential cost concerns, but you still want to start a business, here's another atypical suggestion: a cafe. You might wonder, in 2024, what can surprise people in a regular cafe? After all, we're talking about unusual business ideas, but the uniqueness lies in its concept. Many of us have virtual friends whom we communicate with online, but can't meet for various reasons like living in different countries or cities. Going to a cafe together seems impossible, but here's where a cafe with holograms comes in. It may sound like a scene from Star Wars, but it's a reality gaining popularity in Japan, Korea, and China. How do these establishments work? At first glance, it's a regular cafe with an interior that may not differ from a typical restaurant. The key feature is the hologram. Instead of meeting a friend in person, you can virtually connect with someone in another city or even on the other side of the world. Holograms or images of each other are projected, allowing you to share a meal while physically apart, creating a sense of closeness and personal presence. Currently, there aren't many such cafes, which is an advantage due to minimal competition. Living in the 21st century, where technology constantly evolves, this business is likely to become highly profitable and attractive due to its uniqueness. The holographic cafe business is certainly interesting, but it's not suitable for everyone. So, I have a more familiar suggestion for everyone. And I'm talking about a vending machine. We're all used to such machines that have been part of our lives for over 50 years. Usually, we use them to buy food or coffee. It's quick and convenient, especially in our fast-paced lives. However, there are countless vending machines, which means there's a lot of competition. I'm not talking about an ordinary vending machine. I'm talking about a machine capable of making keys on the spot instantly. Each of us has a key, or even a bunch of keys, whether it's for home or a car. Often, there's an urgent need for a duplicate key, and key makers aren't always nearby or working around the clock. That's where this kind of vending machine comes in handy. What's the advantage of such machines? As I mentioned earlier, keys are something everyone has, and they will remain relevant as long as we use locks. While there are fingerprint or biometric locks nowadays, a key lock is still more reliable, keeping the demand for keys high. And if there's a demand for keys, there is a demand for someone making duplicate keys. But here's the thing, a keymaker isn't always nearby, it doesn't work 24/7. Different situations may arise. For instance, someone might urgently need a key duplicate deep into the night. If such a vending machine is nearby, it provides an excellent way for people to get out of a tricky situation. Another plus is that everything is automated. The mentioned worker is not needed, so the costs are solely for maintaining the machine and renting the space for it. Also, a significant plus is that such services in the vending machine market have only recently appeared, meaning there's not much competition yet, unlike coffee vending machines, and the main advantage, of course, is the machine's round-the-clock operation, ensuring continuous earnings that will quickly pay off and eventually expand by adding new machines. If the key-making vending machine somehow doesn't appeal you, I have a bonus for you in the form of another vending machine equally interesting. I'm talking about a 3D printer, which also doubles as a vending machine. 3D printers are not cheap and generally not very mobile to be placed at home, so a vending machine, a 3D printer, can be a good business. Items that can be created with such a device are limited only by the consumer's imagination and the size of the printer itself. The vending machine 3D printer appeared in the US in the distant 60s of the last century, initially used for creating plastic children toys. However, it did not gain much popularity at the time, likely due to limited awareness. Now, this situation is entirely different, and the advantages of such a device are just like those of the key-making vending machine. Therefore, a business with unusual vending machines can be a good starting point, requiring modest investments that, without significant competition, will quickly pay off and eventually pave the way for a more extensive business. Business with vending machines undoubtedly requires investment, but not every potential entrepreneur has substantial funds. Some might say that without money there is no business, but that's not entirely true. There is one proposal that requires minimal investment. In essence, it's a business from scratch with zero capital. It involves tabletop games, and anyone can engage in it. I'm talking about city-adapted board games. Recently, a group of young enthusiasts adapted the globally known game Monopoly to their hometown, unknowingly creating a unique and successful business. Monopoly can be adapted to any city or locality. In a regular Monopoly game, players earn in-game currency to buy a hypothetical factory or bank. In an adaptation specific to a certain city, they can acquire locally known establishments such as a New York pizzeria or a barbershop, along with any other locally famous brand or business. However, it's not limited to Monopoly. Essentially, any board game can be adapted. Take Jenga, for instance, another well-known game where, aside from toppling a wooden tower, players also answer local questions related to the city. For example, pulling out a tile and stacking it higher reveals a local question on the inner side of the board that only residents of that city would understand. You might immediately wonder, what's the point? How does an adapted game fundamentally differ from a regular one? What do people like about it? The answer is quite simple. Globally, nothing changes. The gameplay remains the same, but the gaming experience becomes entirely different. People enjoy seeing their favorite shops and brands appear during the adapted Monopoly game. Knowledge of their own city influences the gameplay, adding excitement and extra interest. So, what's the advantage of this business? The primary and perhaps the most significant advantage is that this type of business doesn't require significant investments. With great enthusiasm and the right skills, one can even engage in production independently or collaborate with friends. A 3D printer, as mentioned earlier, and a regular printer, colored paper, and stationary scissors can be helpful in this endeavor. The second, no less crucial advantage is that this type of product is easy to sell. Local board games make excellent souvenirs. Instead of the cliched refrigerator magnets or travel calendars, one can bring back an entire board game. It's also a great gift for friends. The third advantage of this business is that this type of product is suitable for all age groups. Your end consumer can be a large and lively group of students or a retired couple. Everyone loves board games. In my opinion, it's an inexpensive and highly unusual business that is easy to implement and has a good profit margin. By the way, there is practically no competition in this field, making it an undeniable advantage for this type of business. If none of the previous businesses suits you for various reasons, there is a final, but no less interesting option: green fast food. Yes, I'm talking specifically about fast food for vegetarians. In general, this idea is not new, but the number of vegetarians is increasing every year, driving up demand for this type of fast food. For example, there is an American chain called Sweet Green, which has been incredibly successful in the United States since its creation in 2006 and has around 140 outlets. Coming to the market in November 2021, it offers salads and dishes made from fresh, health-conscious, local, and seasonal ingredients. Sweetgreen calls itself the McDonald's of its generation. To increase the speed of preparing their custom-made dishes, the company acquired a startup developing service robots last summer. The advantages of this business include increased demand and interest from people living a vegetarian life. Another significant advantage is the relatively low competition in this field compared to other food-related businesses. Despite the growing demand, this can be a business that brings in stable profits. So, dear friends, what unusual business ideas can you suggest? Share your ideas in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you all later.